Good morning, all of you. So today we are going to see arrays, what are arrays and strings, and what are different operations that can perform on strings. So we'll start now. I'm sharing my screen. So we are going to see array function and string in C. First we start with arrays. Arrays किसको बोलते हैं? So array is nothing but is a collection of similar types of elements that are stored in continuous memory location. Similar types of elements होते हैं arrays के अंदर और continuous memory location पे store किए जाते हैं. एक एग्जांपल दिया हुआ है कि यहाँ नंबर है 40, 55, 63 अप टू 89 इज अ लिस्ट ऑफ एलिमेंट्स और ये एलिमेंट्स सबके टाइप जो कॉमन है जो कि इंटीजर है और जो एलिमेंट्स स्टोर किए गए अकॉर्डिंग टू इंडाइसेस ये इंडाइसेस है दैट इज इंडेक्स स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 0 तो फर्स्ट एलिमेंट ऑफ अ लिस्ट ऑफ और एन एरे is referred by the index starting index of the array is 0. The length of an array is n minus 1. If there are 10 elements in an array, the first element will start at 0 and the last will be at n minus 1. That is the total length minus 1. That will be the index of the last element. Here, the given example, there is a length of array length of 9. So the first index is 0. On 0 index 40 is stored, whereas on the last index 8 is stored. Total length is 9, so last index is 8. Next example, how to declare an array. Okay. You want to declare an array, how we can declare it? So the syntax for declaring an array is first we have to write a data type and the name of an array. Then in square brackets we have to write the size of that array. So here the array, as you can see here, is an integer data type. Its name is ARR and size is 10. That means we are declaring an array of size 10, which will consist of an integer data type. So here there is a, you can see an empty array which start at index 0 and by one the last element will be stored at index 9. Here an example how you can initialize the element. So the first type is without declaring its size. So here we didn't declare any size. We just given as int ARR okay, equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. So here the size of the array is 4. As we have not declared the size of an array, but we have entered the elements which will be there in that array. Now the another example is declaring its size. Int ARR of 4. Here we have declared the size of an array as 4 and inserted the 4th element. Another example is there. We have specified the size of an array as 6, but we have entered the only four elements have been entered. So the remaining element will be inserted as 0. Because as the size of the array is 6 and we have only inserted 4 elements, so next 2 elements will be inserted as 0. Same example is given in the last line. As you can see here, in ARR equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 0, 0. So these two last two both works in the same fashion. Both have 6 values in the arrays, whereas we have declared only 4 in the third one, whereas we have inserted 6 values. But the value which is getting stored in the both the array will be same. Next is how to access the array elements. For accessing the array elements, use an index. So we already know that the array index start with 0 and goes till the size of array minus 1. So just see through this program. We have declared an array of size 5. The total number of elements that can be inserted in this array is 5. One by one, we are inserting the element. As you can see here, we are inserting the first element as ARR of 0. That is element at a 0 location will be 5. So the first element at 0 location is 5. Sorry, 5. Element at second, as it is given, it is the second element. That the index with second element, it will be third. No? So index with second is given as -10. Next is array of 3 by 2. Here 3 by 2 means 1.5, and index is always a whole number. So as we already given the name of the array as integer, so index, when we get the index at 1.5, the number after the decimal point will be removed. So we'll get as array as 1. So array of 1 is 2. So the value of the 1 location is first location will be 2. Next is ARR of 3 is equal to ARR of 0. That means we are copying the value of 5 at third location. That means fourth location. Third index and fourth location. So here it will be 5. So we got the value of the 4 elements. So now we'll print f %d, comma ARR of 0, as the value of 0 is 5. 1, it will be 2, and 2 is -10, and the third will be 5. So in this way we get an output of 5, 2, -10, and 5. Next is another example how we can declare the compile time array initialization. So as you can see here, we start with an integer I for a for loop. We take an for loop. So I will work as a counter. Next, we have declared an array. Name of the array is max. We didn't declare the size of an array, but inserted 3 elements in that array. So this means we have the array of size 3. Now we have to print that element one by one. So printing that element one by one, we have taken the for loop. We start from 0 up to it is the value of I less than 3 and I plus plus. So first the value of when then we are going to go into the block of for loop. In for loop, what is happening here is we are printing the value of that array element. So first the max of 0, as the I value is of I is 0. So we'll get max of 0. Max of 0 is 2. So first element that will be printed is 2. Again, when the value of for loop increases, I plus plus, it becomes 1. So we get max of 1 as 3, because you can see here second value is 3. Now next time the value get incremented, it becomes 2. So max of 2 is 4. Next time when the value get incremented of I, it will become 3, and our testing condition become false because 3 is not less than 3. So this condition become false, and we come out of that loop. And finally we end the program using the getStage function. So our result will stop here, 3, 2, and 4. So this is another example. Now here, as you can see, we are taking two integer variables. One is a variable I, another is an array of size 2, which contains elements 10 and 20. Then in the next line, we have for loop, which will print the two elements. We are taking the for loop from 0 to up to 1. So in the first line of for loop, we have %d, comma, a of I. The value of I is 0. Okay, first time the value of I is 0. So a of 0, as we are getting the a of 0, that means the display element, number 10. It will print the number 10 first time. Next time, we have a of, now pointer a plus I. The pointer a plus I is the okay. Next time, the value which we are printing is pointer. It is pointer a plus I. Now a is the name of an array. So as the name of an array is under the round brackets, we'll consider it as 0. So we'll consider a as 0, and we already have I as 0. Value of I is 0 here. So we'll see the what the content of the zeroth location. Zeroth location content is 10. So we'll print that as it is 10. Next time we get the same term as a plus I or I plus a. Both are same. So value of I is 0 and value of a, as a is the name of an array, we'll consider it as 0. So this is 0 plus 0 will get 0. So the content at 0 location is 10, as we already seen. So 10 will get again printed as it is. Next time, here the for loop increases the value of I. The value of I become 1, and we compare it with 1. 1 is less than equal to 1. This condition becomes true. And we come in a for loop, inner for loop, and next is printing the value of a of I. So a of I, that means a of 1, and a of 1 is 20. So we get 20 as an output on this line. Next time, we have a inside the round brackets, pointer a plus I. Here, the value of a, we consider it as 0, and it is as it is the name of an array, and under the round brackets, so we'll consider it as 0, plus I. The value of I is 1. So this becomes the value at location 1, which is 20. So again, we fill 20. Now here the same pattern is there, just I is before and a is afterwards. So a plus I or I plus a both remain the same. So value of I is 1 and value of a is 0. So we get the elements at location 1 at location 1 as 20. So we'll print that same as 20. So in this way we get the output. Next is C strings. Now strings are array of characters. String are array of character which are terminated by a null character. So string, when you are using a string and we are using an array of character, at the time of storage, a null character is automatically gets stored in that array. Okay, so null character shows the end of the string. It denotes where the string is going to be ended. The declaration of a string. Declaring a string is as simple as declaring a one-dimensional array. So as you can see here, we can declare a string. It is as simple as declaring a one-dimensional array. Also, we have a basic syntax for a string as char. Char is a data type. Next is name of the string, and there is a size of that string. So char is a data type. Then str name is the name of that string, and the size is the number of elements that can be present in that string. Next topic is initializing a string. So string can be initialized in a different ways. बहुत सारी ways हैं इस string को initialize करने के लिए. यहाँ पे 4 ways दी हुई है. We are just printing a value or a string as geeks for geeks. If you want to just print this value, how we can initialize the string? So there are 4 ways. First is we are declaring data type as character, char. Then there is the name of that array or a string, that is str. You can write any name in place of str. Then the size, we are declaring an empty size. We are not giving the size of that array or that string. And initializing the array with some geeks for geeks. This is the word which we are going to print. So the value of that string now becomes geeks for geeks. In the second example, we are declaring the size of that string, that is 50. So here same value is getting inserted, but the size of the string is 50. So it can accept value or character up to 50 character it can accept. Next, the third type is char string. Now we can store the same value as like the about to, but we are storing it with a single inverted comma, and every character are stored separately. It looks dissimilar, but it's stored in the same fashion. So about to is similar to this third element. In the last one comes char str of 14. Here the size of the array is 14, and we can store the same type of element. Now you see here, when we are storing this element as one by one, the last element inserted is null character. So slash 0 is called null character, and it has to be inserted. As we are inserting one element at a time, we have inserted slash 0, and when we are inserting the whole word as it is, we don't have to insert slash 0. It will be inserted by default or by the compiler. In the same way, the fourth type it is inserted. The difference in third and fourth are we are just giving the size of an array, and here in the third we are not declaring the size, but both remain same. Now we'll see an example how to print a string. So we start with char str equal to geeks. Now when we want to insert a word, we'll use a double inverted comma to insert. Then finally a semicolon, ending with semicolon. So in this line, you have declared the name of the string and initialize it with some values as geeks. The next line, we are printing the value of str as it is a string. So we are using a %s as format specifier and printing that value. So on that we get the geeks. If you see the memory storage, when we declare the value of str as geeks, how it is going to be stored? So G is going to be stored as 0 location, then E, then K, and S. The last value which is automatically getting inserted is slash 0, which is called as a null character. It shows where the string ends or the ending of the string. On below, we can see the address field. Address mostly consists of hexadecimal numbers, but here you can see we are giving an address in decimal numbers just for understanding. Next is another example. So we have char a of 100. We are declaring a string of size 100 and name of that string is a. Now we are printing a message on the screen as enter a string. Then to accept a string, we use gets function. Now when we have to accept an integer value, we use when we want to accept an integer value, we use a scanf function. But as we have to enter a string, we use gets function. So gets function are used gets, and it will accept an argument value. So whatever will be inserted in the string will be stored in the string A. Okay, so we are passing this A to accept the value for the string. Next line we are printing that string. The entered string is %, comma. So whatever the value we have entered, suppose we have entered the value as how are you. So how are you is going to be stored in A, and then next line it is going to be printed as the entered string is. This percentage will be replaced by the value of A, which is how are you. So in this way, this program will run. Next is another example of using string function. So our next function is to see the use of string.h function. So string.h function is a library files. When we are using that string function, there are different operations present with that function, and we can use in our program. So here we will see one example of the working of a string function. So whenever you want to use that string function, we have to add that library files or header files in the program as hash include string.h. Then we have main function. In main function, we have taken a integer I. Then in second line, we are taking a character array as a of 100. Next, we have printf statement, enter a string. So this line will get printed as it is on the console screen. Next, to accept the value, we are using a gets function. So whatever the value we are inserting will be stored in this a array. Now here an example of that string.h. We are using a function strlen. So this function is actually used to count the number of characters present in that string. So whenever you are using this function, it will return the number of character present in that string. So as we are using here the L equal to strlen of A, we are counting the character present in this array A or string A. For printing that character, we are using the length of the entered string is %d, L. So whatever the content of the L will get printed here and will be replaced by the %d. So we get answer. If we give an input as hello, so we will get an answer as the length of the entered string is 5. So here also if you see the null character will get inserted automatically, but with the help of length function, that null character will not be counted in the string and only the character which was inserted will be counted. So in this way, the strlen function works. Next is another example of string function and what are the functions present in the string and how we can use it. So we are going to see the string compare function, which will compare two strings. So we'll start with the first main function. In the main function, we are declaring two character arrays as a of 100 and b of 100. Then we are accepting the first string and storing it in the first array of a. Suppose we are entering the value as simplified in the first array, and next time we are accepting the value of the second array as b, and we entered it as we'll give same input for that, but only change the first character as the small s becomes here capital S. In the next line there is a comparison. That means we are using an if statement for comparison. Now we are comparing using strcmp function. The function is already written in the string.h function, so we don't have to further code that function. We are using that function and comparing the two string as a and b. So here a and b will get compared. The comparison will be between the characters. If the characters are both same, then it will return 0. If both are same, then it will return 0. The result 0 will be compared with the 0. When both are same, the if condition becomes true and we get the answer as entered string are equal. If the string are different, we get the entered string as not equal.